Hey, this is Dave from Rock and Roll Reviews, and welcome to Podcast 6. Joining me on Podcast 6, as always, is my main man, Duncan.
Hello, you sexy motherfucker.
Hello, Duncan. And as I said last time, we're going to be joined by a guest reviewer on each podcast. So this week, we have the man from London. It is Graham.
There's probably going to be a whole heap of swearing on this, and I'm just getting that out there right now. I apologise in advance. It's going to happen.
Yeah, we're waiting on it. We're just waiting on it.
Graham's so sweary that he actually has a tattoo which says parental advisory.
On my knob.
There we go. Started already. How you all doing tonight?
I'm doing fine.
Hey, shut up, right? I'm talking. You're on this every fucking week, right? It's my turn. Shut up. I'm alright.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh, this is going to be a disaster, I can already tell.
Duncan, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, man. I'm doing absolutely fucking fantastic.
Excellent.
Fan-fucking-tastic.
Good to hear. What you been up to then? What's been happening?
Not a lot. Listening to lots of albums, which you kindly fired on a new selection of fucking God knows how many albums my way.
Yep.
Couple of films and stuff. Just finished reviewing the new Mindless Self-Indulgence album and the stunning new album by Pams, which is a supergroup involving members of ISIS and Chino from the Deftones. Out with that, watching a couple of films, mostly horror again. I went back and watched VHS 2. I watched a film from 2003 called High Tension. It's a French horror film. I actually really enjoyed it.
Shite. See that fucking ending? Doesn't make any sense. Fuck right off.
Spoiler.
I would agree with you there.
There's no spoiler in it. It's just fucking pish.
If you actually... I think you just basically have to go with it, because see, if you start to pick away at the ending, everything that happened before it doesn't make any sense.
No, right? No. The fucking ending doesn't make sense. That's not me picking away at it. That's like me just fucking... No, it just doesn't make sense. Fuck that movie. It's in the fucking pile with Life of Pi. Shite.
Oh man, and I also watched the again for like the 5th time or something. I'm about to buy it on Blu-ray, but the remake of Maniac, which is fucking stunning.
When does that come out?
It comes out on Monday on Blu-ray and DVD, and you need to check it out.
Yeah, I never got a chance to see it in the cinema. Like down here, there only seem to be showings on at like 11:30, midnight or something like that. And obviously, I need to get into my bed early, so never got a chance to see it.
Really, really, really fucking good. And I love the original, but the remake is like Elijah Wood, who I would probably never cast in that sort of role ever.
He had that role in Sin City.
Sin City, yeah.
Yeah.
But he never says anything in Sin City. He just
but he's a
smiles.
He's a creepy wee bastard.
Well, he plays a psychotic bastard very, very well in this. So I thoroughly recommend it. I'm going to write a review for it for the site. So what about you, Graham? What have you been up to other than Hellfest, which you're going to talk about later? What have you been listening to?
Believe it or not, I've actually not been listening to a whole lot of metal or hardcore really since I got back. No, right. Well. I've stupidly signed up for a 10k assault course in November, right? So I don't know, because I'm a fucking moron. So basically, I've started like trying to train for it. It's failing miserably, man. I go out for a run, just about shit myself halfway around. But so when I've been out going for a run, like I've been listening to like Municipal Waste and stuff like that, and Annihilator and like fast stuff, and the ill-advised logic that if I listen to fast music, I'll run fast. But that doesn't work. In fact, I texted Duncan about this the other day. I was listening to Black Sails in the Sunset and The Art of Drowning by AFI.
Classic albums.
Fantastic albums. If only they were still no shite. But never mind. But this week the missus is away to Glastonbury, so she's been talking about the Rolling Stones an awful lot, and I can't stand the Rolling Stones based on the fact that they sued the Verve over Bittersweet Symphony.
All right.
So just despite the Stones, I've been listening to urban hymns a lot. So fuck you, Stones. Get it right up you. A lot of Pearl Jam. Going to see Soundgarden in September, I think it is, as well. So I've had Soundgarden on spin. That's been a bit. I've been listening to a lot of sort of acoustic stuff like Radical Bass and things like that as well. I think basically I left my boss in France. So yeah.
Yeah, that was gay as fuck.
What about you, Dave?
Wasn't it, man? I've started shagging guys as well. So.
Right. Back on course here, Dave. Get away from the guy shagging. Right,
Okay.
Dave. What about you? What have you been listening to?
I'm gonna be the boss of the team here. I'm gonna fucking lay it on out here.
Yo, mate, this is fucking Skype, right? I can turn my camera on and whip my balls out on this, and then I will be the boss of the operation. Boom!
Oh, fuck.
Listening to... actually, I've been listening to that Palms album, or EP, or whatever it is, quite a lot as well, actually. Quite liking that.
Really good. Really good.
I'm a big fan of ISIS, and obviously Deftones as well, so quite digging that, yeah, pretty good. I've been reviewing the latest Attila album. I don't know if you've ever heard Attila before. Kind of deathcore, I suppose you would call that, but they're a kind of party band. Their lyrics are
Party deathcore band, aye.
Aye, party deathcore band. Their lyrics are ridiculous, completely ridiculous. So we got their new album in from, I think it's Razor and Tie Records. So I've been reviewing that. It should be going up next week at some point. We've got one in from Indie Recordings, an album by a band called X-Stall.
Yeah.
I think they're Norwegian, I think. Kind of progressive metal, I suppose. They're like a kind of mix of like Opeth and Scarv, I would say, are probably the two bands that come to mind when listening to them. They've got a kind of gruff, kind of almost death metal, Virgin and black metal kind of vocal. And then they've got this, I think it's a guitarist, does all the kind of clean vocals, and it's just like totally angelic, kind of clean vocals. It's superb. Like, I'm really enjoying that. So I've been listening to that quite a bit.
Is it in 4/4?
Possibly not, Graham. No.
Okay.
No, mixed time signatures. I would say on that one.
Is it in drop D?
No.
Fuck it.
Afraid not. Another one I've been listening to is a band called Death Heaven. This band, I've kind of been coming up on my radar quite a few times now. Just recently, they've just released an album called Sunbather. Their style is post black metal. I'm not a fan of black metal really, but I'm a fan of post metal and post rock and stuff. So I decided to give that a listen, and I must say I'm really enjoying it. Didn't expect to really like it, but yeah, quite digging that. So we'll be reviewing that shortly as well. Might even do a video review. Never know.
Busting out in the video.
Yeah, that's been
paint up for that, but
yeah, probably. Yeah.
Maybe. Do it outside in the forest with the full moon and all that shit.
Right.
I'm not joking, Dave. Do it.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. I've got a forest right outside my house. I'll do it the night.
Belter.
Yeah, we've got some stuff in for Relapse as well. Relapse Records, a lot of kind of good death metal stuff. Exhumed and kind of thrash album, Revocation. So I've been listening to bits of that as well. So yeah, loads of music, loads of good stuff coming in. So should be a lot of cool reviews coming on the website shortly.
I watched. I finally saw the finale of the new season of Hannibal, season 1, and I thoroughly recommend that everyone goes out and checks that, because that is probably one of the darkest television programs I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
You sent me episodes of Bates Motel. I still haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
I quite liked it. I thought it was. I didn't think it was amazing television, but it's good. There's plenty going on in it.
Yeah. Lee's watched it, but I haven't had the chance to watch it yet.
Well, I'll fire Hannibal down to you once you have watched it, and you can give that a shot because it's really good.
Cool. I finally got around to watching Rec 2.
Oh, Rec 2 is amazing.
It was fucking brilliant. I really liked the first one. Like, I know the first one inside out, but I just never got round to watching the second one. Finally sat down to watch it and spent the first 20 minutes or so of it on my laptop, and it was going on until I realised, here, this is in Spanish and it's subtitled. I'm getting no idea what's going on. Boom, back to the beginning. But no, I thought it was excellent. I mean, just no, like, everyone's probably seen it by now anyway, but I mean, there's no real surprises in it. It's, if you know the first one, you're pretty much getting the same thing as the second one, but it's just better. Yeah,
I really enjoyed the second one. The third one totally goes off on a different tangent, but we'll discuss that at a later point.
Fair enough.
Nice. So what's been happening in the news world, Duncan?
Not so fast, you ingrates! Public news team is taking a break from its pledge drive to kick some ass. No commercials, no mercy! No!
Quite a lot, Dave. The news has been flowing in the last 2 weeks. So like never-ending fucking gravy train of absolutely amazing news. Which
tell us.
You can't even wait. And I'll tell you right now, Dave. On the film front, don't talk when I'm talking. On the film front, it was announced that there had been a bit of controversy recently about the whole kind of Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. thing in Iron Man, where basically done that third one, and it looked like that was him finished his contract, I think, in terms of how many films he was actually obligated to do, and how this may have a knock-on effect into Iron Man's role in the new Avengers film, Avengers 2. But it was confirmed this week that he is indeed going to be in that, so fanboys like Mikey, you're alright. Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr., will be in Avengers 2, so you can just calm down now. And slightly sad news, on the 17th of June, James Gandolfini passed away of a heart attack while on holiday in Italy, and anyone who's anyone that watches telly has or must have at some point watched an episode of The Sopranos. Which
Nope.
Have you never seen an episode of The Sopranos?
Jesus.
Never seen a second of it, mate.
I would say, I mean, there's been obviously a lot of things coming out about this, about how influential The Sopranos was in terms of how it moved television programmes on. It basically shaped modern telly. Like your television programmes now can have more swearing in them, they can have more sex in them, more violence. They can really almost be like mini films. Whereas before that, television couldn't really tried, but not really got any sort of mainstream success. And in part, James Gandolfini's portrayal as Tony Soprano in that, basically, he was the bad guy that you actually really liked.
Yeah.
Because his character's terrible. I mean, he's a murderer, he's a psychopath.
We've all been there.
Yeah. But he sadly passed away, and he'd been in some films as well. I always liked his roles where he did play bad people. I mean, he kind of more recently been cast in more kind of authoritative roles, which I wasn't too keen on. But things like 9mm, where he plays like a sleazy kind of porn producer, it's fucking brilliant in that. So I really liked him in those sort of roles. So it was a bit of a shock.
Romance as well, aye.
True Romance, it was a similar role to that actually, as he plays in True Romance. But he was only 51, which is fucking pretty young to go.
That's pretty young, yeah.
That's only, 3 years older than Baz? I'm only joking, Baz.
I guess someone's just scored first blood there, I think. Also in movie news, which it depends on which side you fall on these reboots and remakes, it was announced in the last week that Hollywood is indeed pressing on with the reboot of the Terminator franchise, which by the Sims of things are wanting the first film out in 2015, which is fairly quick. I don't know what involvement Arnie's going to have in this one, or if it's going to be a remake or a complete reimagining like Hollywood tends to do. So I don't know, what do you guys think on that?
I don't know. The only thing I can think is that how in the first one Arnie shows up, he comes through and he's totally butt naked.
Yes.
See if they get him in back in for the reboot, I hope to God that they do not have him fucking butt naked. Imagine his old saggy ass fucking, because it'll be in 3D as well. Like in 3D IMAX, you just get fucking 12 feet of Arnie's fucking saggy ass. Here, you know what? Actually, that'd be amazing. Put that in.
What about you, Dave? Any feelings on this one? You're a big Terminator fan like myself, so
I loved the first Terminator, and I loved Terminator 2. Wasn't so fussed on Terminator 3. Terminator Salvation wasn't bad. I did not watch the TV series, but I'm kind of in two minds about this. Like, I think it's like such an iconic film, the first Terminator, so it could possibly just fucking ruin it, but. You know what Hollywood are like. They'll do it to make a bit of cash. So we'll wait and see.
I mean, like we were saying earlier on, like the Terminator Salvation, which incidentally was completely ruined for me by some cunt back up in the top end of the cinema when he said, "Oh, what'll I tell the troops? Tell them I'll be back." He goes, that's what he said in the first one. Every fucking person in the world knows that's what he says in the first one. It's an iconic line, you piece of shit. Shut the fuck up. I mean, that was like a prequel, so essentially what this is going to be a sequel to that prequel.
Yeah.
So it's going to be the same series, but it's a reboot, but I don't know, man. Like, I can't keep up with this. Hollywood, you win.
I'm trying to remember, did the events in the fourth one, the last one, Salvation, did that not null out what had happened in the... Did they not destroy the base, which essentially allowed people to go back in time?
Aye, but there'll be some way that they'll be able to, like, you know, some random... It'll be like in that pish movie Contact, where, you know, like, fucking Jodie Foster on one side of the world is spending millions and millions of government pounds government dollars in order to be able to make some mad, like, satellite dish, and some other prick on the other end of the world is just like, oh, here, cool, I've got one of them as well. That'll be essentially what happens. It's like, oh, we blew this up, and there'll just be some random fat guy in, like, fucking Egypt or something. It's like, oh, no, it's cool, man, I've got one as well. Oh, cheers, big man.
Well, what I meant, not that I wanted to derail what you were saying there, because
there'll be some way around it, is essentially what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, what I was going to say is, if essentially those events don't happen, is it not like with the Star Trek films that have happened recently? Basically, they rebooted the franchise by making something happen, which basically meant that everything that had happened didn't happen, so they could do whatever they wanted. So that's what I thought they might be doing with the whole Terminator thing, but I'm not sure.
See what I don't get about Terminator, right? Right. So in the present day, they send this robot comes back to kill this guy, but he destroys it, or he dies. Sorry, but she has John Connor. Spoilers, guys. He goes up to send this guy back to stop the robot from killing John Connor in order to make sure that John Connor is born, so that he then grows up to send this guy back. When does it stop? It just keeps going. It's like a snake eating its own tail, man. It just keeps going. I lost sleep over that, man. Like for months. Like that movie totally like got in my head, and like I think that's why I don't sleep so well anymore, because of it.
So the whole thing's explained in Stephen Hawking's A Brief History of the Universe, Graham, which you can buy up. Oh, sorry, that's right, Brief History of Time, which you can pick up.
You're going to be a smart arse, mate. You need to be ready.
Well, we'll just end that discussion thread and move on with the news. 2 weeks ago on the news, we mentioned that Black Sabbath had scored their first number one in the UK in 40 years with their new album 13. In the same week, they topped the Billboard 200 in America with their first number one album ever. They'd never scored an album at number one at all with 13. Has anyone had a chance to listen to it yet?
Yeah.
What did you think?
It wasn't bad. It was alright.
I was the same. I thought some of the riffs in it were pretty cool. I thought Ozzy's vocals, take them or leave them. I was never a huge fan, to be honest with you. But musically, it was alright. It's not a bad album.
I find it fascinating that he can sing on these albums, yet he can hardly string a fucking sentence together.
I know. Well, yeah, I saw Sabbath at Download last year, and they were amazing. Like they were like proper stunning. And then like the week after that, I saw Ozzy do a solo set at Hellfest. Fucking hell, that was brutal and not in a good way. It's just like I prefer Ozzy solo stuff to Sabbath, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I love Sabbath songs. I just don't necessarily love them when Sabbath perform them. Like, see those Nativity in Black albums and stuff like that? Like, Biohazard doing After Forever, obviously Faith No More doing War Pigs, White Zombie doing Children of the Grave. You know, like, that's amazing because they're amazing songs. Ozzy kills them, man. And like I said, I love his solo stuff, so it doesn't make sense. Awesome songs with a vocalist that I like, that should work. Doesn't, man? It's the fucking Terminator thing all over again. I'm gonna lose sleep over this.
Your mind is a mysterious place, Graham.
Right, let's not go there.
Up my ass.
I think Dave was saying. I think me and you might be going to see them, Dave, this year.
It looks possible. Aye, we're looking to be put on the old guest list for Sabbath in December. They're playing some fucking place in the SECC.
Hydro or something like that. It's called
the what?
The Hydro or something like that.
Is it the Hydro they're playing?
No,
I
I think it is.
SECC.
I think it is the CCC. CC.
Is it? Alright.
Aye.
I know I don't live in Glasgow.
Which is a shame because the Hydro's been pretty much purpose built for gigs and SECC shite for gigs. So,
Yeah.
Aye.
But there we go.
Yeah, but I think we're going to go and see them in December, getting on the guest list for that.
That should be good because I've never seen them. So, but right, in further news, Lamb of God have released a press statement. This was just over a week ago. Basically, they've come out and said that the legal costs of defending Randy Blythe, who was recently acquitted of manslaughter for the accidental, I think we can call it accidental, murder of a fan who climbed on the stage during one of their sets in Czechoslovakia or the Czech Republic, and I think Randy had pushed him because he got too close to the band. He fell off and banged his head. Died a couple of months later, and Randy faced manslaughter charges. Like I say, he was acquitted, but apparently Lamb of God have released a statement saying that the actual legal costs of defending Randy Blythe have bankrupted the band completely, which is incredible because Lamb of God are on arguably one of the biggest metal labels in the world, and we could also argue to an extent are one of the biggest modern metal bands on the go just now. I mean, they play arenas now; they're huge.
Yeah.
So basically, they were running a campaign, unofficially running a campaign, basically saying if you haven't bought a Lamb of God T-shirt, it might be an idea to start buying them if you want us to do anything. Airborne, or Aborn, or as I like to call them, younger, better AC/DC, have announced a UK tour in December, and they will be supported by The Treatment, who I am not familiar with at all, and absolutely amazing Mighty Orange Goblin.
Yeah.
It took me a second to Mighty Orange Goblin. Yeah, fuck's that? I get you.
Yeah, the Orange Goblin, the awesome fucking Orange Goblin. So I'm hopeful that we can wrangle some sort of guest thing on that as well, Dave, because that would be fucking stunning.
Yeah, shouldn't be a problem, eh?
Two bits of very quick news,
Big
and then
Dave, fucking aye. No bother, mate. I'll hook you up with that.
No bother.
We now know him as Big Dave Fingering All the Pies Buchanan. So I'm going to run
it's a
through
good
these.
job if you can get it, man.
Definitely.
Right.
I'm going to run through these two quick press statements, and that's the end of the news. The first press statement has come from the Contortionist. They've announced that Mike Lassard of Last Chance to Reason is now their permanent vocalist, replacing Jonathan Carpenter, who exited the band earlier this year. In an interview with Metal Sucks, guitarist Robbie Baca said, "We're very excited about this announcement. The run of dates we did with him as a fill-in were a much-needed breath of fresh air. He brings to the table all kinds of new dynamics that will help fuel the progression of the band's sound on the next record and onward." So I know that you're a big Contortionist fan, Dave.
This was a wee bit surprising, actually, this one, because they had all these folk all over the world posting videos of themselves on YouTube to audition for part of the new vocalist in the Contortionist. And I think we posted a couple on our Facebook and stuff. So like, check these guys out. And then what they did was they took this guy from Last Chance to Reason, who is a fucking excellent vocalist, by the way. They took him on tour as a kind of fill-in, and then ended up just keeping him, and he's the new vocalist. So all these guys that have posted videos on YouTube are basically just fucking done it for no reason at all.
I do not think, though, this is not the first time this has happened. I think a lot of bands are using this sort of thing now as a bit of PR and press.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah.
I mean, I think it's the same with don't know if you know, but Machine Head have just announced that they've got a new bassist. I can't remember his name, and he's from another band. But essentially, they ran a similar campaign, a massive, fucking huge campaign of people auditioning, and essentially they've went with someone that I think they know quite well.
Yeah.
So I don't know if these things are maybe just a way of kind of spreading the word out there on the internet, drumming up a bit of PR and press. I don't know.
Yeah. He's a good vocalist, so I'm interested to see where it goes, because I do like the Contortionist, although I wasn't a huge fan of their last album, but and I'm a fan of Last Chance to Reason as well. So, and they've got a new album coming out as well. So I'm hoping Last Chance to Reason don't go down the Swanee after this guy joins the Contortionist. But
so is he going to remain in both bands, or
as far as I know, yeah.
All right. There you go.
You sounded so unimpressed by that.
Well, that tends to. I find that when
if he chooses to do that, then I suppose that's up to him. But I would.
Yeah. It tends to be the death of one band or the other, though. I think unless you're Corey Taylor, juggling two bands is very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Did you know Rob Caggiano's playing guitar for Volbeat now as well?
Yeah.
He just pretty much like gets my iPod and says, "Right, what's Graham listening to this week? All right, cool. I'll go and play for them." Like, he started off in Boiler Room, then joined Anthrax. Now he's in Volbeat. Next up, he'll be fucking playing in Soundgarden.
The thing about it is, he announced that he was leaving Anthrax because he no longer wanted to be in a live touring band. He wanted to concentrate on recording albums, and within 2 weeks of leaving Anthrax, he announced he was going as a live guitarist for Volbeat on tour with them. Which
I think what he meant by "I don't want to be in a touring band anymore" is I don't really want to be in a band who has the potential to be absolutely fucking amazing, but they keep getting this shite bag of a vocalist in and fucking ruining it. So I'll join Volbeat instead.
You're not playing the damn things as well.
he does.
He did actually,
He plays in everything. He's just a fucking. He recorded the damn things as well. But anyway, right. Second press statement and final part of the news is some Pig Destroyer news.
Yes.
Pig Destroyer have been inducted into the prestigious, and I love how they use this word prestigious because I've never heard of this before. Decibel Magazine Hall of Fame. The band
Decibel Magazine is quite a big deal in Europe, I think.
Oh well, they've been announced as they will be getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. The band is being inducted for their album Prowler in the Yard, which was released as an amazing album, July 2001 via Relapse Records. Prowler in the Yard will see a deluxe remix and remaster reissue via Relapse in the near future. Guitarist Scott Hull commented on the honour. It's such an honour to have Pity inducted, Pity obviously Prowler in the Yard. Not just Pity, inducted into the Decibel Hoff or Hall of Fame. We aren't a group of guys.
You're as bad as CSI here, mate.
we aren't a group of guys to look back on anything we've done. Really, we usually just keep looking forward. When Albert got in touch and said that he was going to induct the record, it gave Junior, Brian and myself a chance to reflect on how much fun we were having back in 2000-2001. Without any pressure, without any expectations, we were just trying to make a kick-ass record for no one but ourselves. Totally DIY in our basement. It's been a long road since
point to note, his name is not Junior, it's JR.
Alright, who has a name like JR? Does he have an oil field?
Jim Ross, mate. It's Jim Ross after wrestling.
Jim Ross?
He does barbecue books and calls wrestling and then goes and plays Pig Destroyer.
So thanks for the correction there. But that's pretty good news.
I'm glad they're getting that kind of recognition. I'm not glad at the fact that they may be remixing and remastering that album, though. That could be fucking a travesty.
Well, it depends who's involved with it, because that album is raw as fuck, and it needs to be raw. It can't be really.
Well, Scott Hull does all the stuff. He does all his own stuff. He does
Well,
all the albums.
hopefully it'll be him that's remixing and remastering it then.
Wait, it doesn't even need it. It's fucking flawless. Why even touch that?
Because they need a reason to re-release it, Dave.
Bastard.
But that's the news, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Duncan.
Thank you.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
It jumped up a notch.
It did, didn't it?
Just recently, our man Graham was in La France, was in France. Do you like that wee bit of French accent there?
Very
That
sexy.
was sexy as fuck.
Thank you. And you witnessed the festival that is Hellfest, Graham.
Certainly did.
How did that go? Who did you see and what did you think?
Who did I see and what did I think? Well, Dave, that's really two questions there. Actually, I saw Pig Destroyer, and we were talking about this before the podcast, and unfortunately they were pretty dull. I'm not. I like Pig Destroyer. I'm not a big fan, so I don't really know the songs. So I think it's maybe the type of thing that if you know the songs a bit better, then you'll maybe be more into it. But I mean, for anyone who's never been to Hellfest, it's like imagine if Download wasn't shit. That's pretty much what Hellfest is like. Like you've got two main stages. So like a lot of European festivals, like while one stage is setting up, there's someone playing on the other one, so that as soon as they finish, the next band starts. You've got a death metal stage and a black metal stage in a tent, which are like at two different ends of the tent, so that again you've got one band setting up, one band playing. The death metal stage is called the Altar, I believe it is. Yep. And like it's all done up with like mad fucking blood dripping spikes and all that shit.
Yes.
The black metal stage is called the Temple and has a massive. Last year it had a massive inverted crucifix above the stage. This year it had a giant pentagram.
Fucking wicked.
You can't really go wrong with that shit. Exactly. Yeah, the Valley is the kind of Doom stage, the Duncan stage. And then you've got the Warzone, which is the hardcore stage, which was actually not in a tent this year. It was outside. That was kind of cool. So this year, who did I see? First band I saw of the weekend was These Nuts. Obviously,
nice.
I reviewed their new album a few months back, and the album was excellent. Absolutely loved it. I think I gave it 4.5. They were pretty bland. They I don't know, man. They played the songs. There just didn't really seem to be any balls to it. It was a bit disappointing. But Terror were up next. Fucking hell, man. I was wearing a pair of sunglasses, and within about the first 6 seconds of the first song, I got kicked in the face and one of the lenses shattered. That's what you want, man. That is what you want from a Terror gig. That was fucking brilliant. Agnostic Front were just tremendous. Sick of it all, as always, amazing.
So did you just stay in the Warzone for the whole of the Friday then?
Pretty much, yeah. I'm looking through the other stages now to see if I saw anyone else. Testament. Saw Testament. They were excellent. Yeah. And of course I saw At Gates.
Oh, nice.
At Gates, man. Fucking amazing. Just from start to finish, man. Just I was kind of expecting them to pretty much just stick to material from Slaughter of the Soul, but they didn't. They played quite a lot from what's it called, The Red in the Sky is Ours.
All right.
There was quite a lot from that as well. No, it was good, man. It was good set, excellent. Down were playing on the main stage on the Saturday. They were excellent. Down. And then they also did a sort of special set on the Sunday because Clutch had to pull out.
Oh, man.
Because I believe it's Neil Fallon's father passed away.
Oh, right.
Like 2 days before the festival or something like that. So Down stepped in and did a set instead of Clutch. But rather than just playing like Down songs, they played like a bunch of covers and stuff like that. But it was really cool because like they played like Albatross by COC. They played Walk by Pantera. There was a
Right.
Fucking Coal Chamber.
What were Coal Chamber like?
What do you think? They were
Imagine.
They were absolute pish, but amazing. Fucking garbage, man. But like the place was going fucking mental for it. Same deal with Papa Roach. They were fucking pish, but everyone was loving it, man. I was hugging guys in the pit, something like that. That was amazing. Korn were excellent. Yeah, so heads back in the band. The set opened with Blind, Into Twist, all the kind of classic tunes. They did actually play some stuff from the last album as well, which I wasn't expecting because obviously Head wasn't on it.
The what do you call it? The fucking dubstep album. All right.
Yeah, they did. They played like Narcissistic Cannibal and stuff like that as well, which I wasn't expecting, but I actually quite liked that album. So that was cool. I saw fucking Lordy. That was amazing. Can you love a monster, man? Damn right I can. That was fucking brilliant. What I saw of Cradle, I didn't see all of Cradle of Filth, but what I did see of them was they were excellent, which is surprising because I've seen Cradle 5-6 times, and his vocals are always fucking terrible.
Yeah.
But it was bang on the money, man. Like proper bang on. I only saw the last 3 songs, but it was Her Ghost in the Fog, something else, and then From the Cradle to Enslave. So
Cool.
Pretty good songs to see. And then I saw Volbeat, who were excellent.
Nice.
Loved their last album; they were great. And then a fucking big Glenn Danzig, mate. I was talking to Duncan before you joined in, Dave, and like without wanting to get a bit too My Chemical Romance here, I've been having quite a lot of personal problems recently, and like a big part of what's going on is I've kind of been finding myself recently sort of thinking, Graham, you're 25, it's maybe time to fucking go out a cunt shouting at each other and, screaming about witches and devils and all that shit. I think fucking Danzig heard me think that and basically came out and said, here Graham, stop being a whiny wee bitch, this is why this shit's cool. Came out, played a fucking metal set of Danzig solo stuff, which was life affirming, and then got Doyle out. Doyle is ripped as fuck! Like, Danzig is a big guy, right? But Doyle makes him look like fucking... Like, what I was saying to Duncan earlier on is like, see if you stand me next to The Rock, I dwarf The Rock. And that's exactly what it's like when Doyle stands next to Danzig. It's just ludicrous, man. He's just pure ripped as fuck. So he came out, they played a bunch of Misfits songs. When they played I Turned Into a Martian, I nearly started reading. It's just like fucking amazing. Then they went off, he came back on, they played Mother, and then Bullet and Die Die My Darling, and it was just like fucking hell, man. It was like proper life affirming. Just so good. Danzig and Ghost swapped slots though. So Danzig was like, the way Hellfest works is because, like I was saying, there's 2 stages. Like Volbeat were technically headlining the Sunday, and Danzig was supposed to be sub-headlining, but Danzig would have actually gone on last. It's a bit weird. But if they had gone on last, then they would have missed their gig in London the next night. So Danzig ended up playing in the kind of doomy tent and Ghost slot, and Ghost ended up closing the main stage. So it was a bit mad, but it was it kind of worked out well because having Danzig in the tent just made it even more intense. So yeah, that was amazing.
Sounds good though. Sounds a good weekend.
Aye, it was. Like I was saying to you earlier on, they've got a fucking barbecue tent there, so you just there's no bands on that I want to see at the moment. What'll I do? I'll go and get a big chunk of that fucking giant pig that's being grilled over a fire. Fucking amazing, man.
Nice. Well, thanks for the update on that. Sounds pretty good.
No bother. Go next year.
Yeah, sounds good. Like, sounds well much better than Download. Even the lineup looks much better.
Just like the way the layout of it, and it just fucking looks better. Just everything about it's just amazing, man.
Yeah. Nice one. Well, we're going to talk a wee bit about a few albums that we've been reviewing recently that's just been up on the website in the last kind of week or two. Very quickly, because I realise we're running on here. We're doing a wee bit more talking than usual. Yeah, it's all fucking Graham's fault. I'll start us off. A recent review I did, just went up on the website last week, was the new album from August Burns Red. It was called Rescue and Restore. I reviewed their last album, which was the Christmas themed album, which they released last year. I surprisingly quite liked their Christmas album.
Was it Christmas covers, or was it them writing songs about Christmas?
No,
like Christmas covers.
Oh, that's not quite as good.
Man.
Oh, really? Oh, no, that changes things then. Did they do Walking in the Air?
No.
Oh, fuck them then.
But no, it's worth checking out, especially at Christmas time. It was a bit of a nice twist on kind of Christmas music. It was better than the usual fucking Michael Bublé or whatever's getting fucking
Put on
played.
Mariah Carey's Christmas album and then August Burns Red's Christmas album. Belter.
So I thought it was alright. It wasn't an amazing album, but it was pretty good. A bit of a kind of gimmick album. I wouldn't say fussed on their album before, but I was looking forward to this new one, Rescue and Restore, and I must say I really enjoyed it. I thought it is what it is. It's basically just metalcore, but they've been doing it that long now that their sound and their the feel of the album is just awesome. Like their playing is as tight as anything. The drumming especially was particularly good. And you can just tell this band have been at it for ages, and they've found their niche and they're just going for it. It's pretty. I suppose it's kind of safe. There wasn't anything kind of out of the ordinary on it that you wouldn't expect on a metalcore album, but definitely if you're a fan of the band, then definitely worth checking it out. I've been into them for a while. I saw them live, and they were excellent live band. So yeah, I would definitely check out this new one. It's out on Solid State Records in America and Hassle Records in the UK. And if you're into bands like kind of Unearth, Parkway Drive, that kind of idea, then yeah, check them out. But that's pretty much it. Yeah.
What did you say you gave it out of 5? Sorry.
I give it a 4 out of 5. Sorry.
4 out of 5. Cool. Well, I've not heard anything of it, so I can't really tell you what I thought. But Graham was saying that he's heard half the album, so I don't know if.
Yeah, I was kind of listening to it earlier today in preparation for the podcast, because unlike you, Duncan, actually, do my homework.
Or half it.
Aye, well, that's always the way of it in school, isn't it? You get halfway through and then you go in the next day and you're like, oh, I did as much as I could, but I got stuck. No, I mean, it's pretty much like Dave said, it's kind of generic metalcore. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah. It's not the style of music that I normally listen to, so it's not the type of thing that had me shit in the bed, but it's... yeah, I mean, like exactly like you said, if you like bands like Parkway Drive and Unearth and things like that, then yeah, you'll love it. It's brutal, it's heavy, it sounds polished. The guitar tone's excellent. It's metalcore.
Yeah, so there's some nice contrast on it as well. There's a couple of tracks where they bring in like acoustic guitars and some nice strings and stuff in the background. So there's a wee bit of that on it as well, which is quite nice. Kind of breaks it up a bit.
Cool,
yeah. What about you, Duncan? What you been reviewing?
So Mindless Self-Indulgence have a new album out. It's funnily enough called How I Learned to Stop Giving a Shit and Love Mindless Self-Indulgence. And like I've been speaking to one of you before, I think, about basically how I was familiar with the band. I'd heard them when I was younger. I used to go to like nightclubs that played their songs, and they were one of those bands who were always in the background. I was never a huge fan of them, but they were alright. Their last album though, it was 5 years ago, and it was called If, and it was pish. It was generic, run of the mill, just fucking shite. So I thought the band had split up because I've not heard anything from them since. So a wee bit surprised when Dave sent me a Dropbox of their new album, and I got a chance to listen to it, and
Shite.
It's not totally shite. There are moments on it which are interesting. You know, they're doing things musically that are interesting. His vocals are never going to change. It's very kind of obnoxious, kind of crass, trying to rap but not rap sort of thing that he does, which he just does that. That's never going to change. But basically, like I say, some of there are a good couple of songs. I think it opens strong. The opening track, Witness, is very much a classic Mindless Self-Indulgence track. And it sticks to its strengths, which are him doing his kind of shouty, kind of vocally thing, and the music being really cool in the background. So, I mean, that is what it is. The bits I don't like are actually where they go off and try different things, which would generally be the bit I'd be looking forward to most. They have tracks, funnily enough, Graham had mentioned earlier on that one of the tracks he didn't like was Hey Tomorrow, Fuck You and Your Friend Yesterday. I didn't actually mind that. What fucking ruined it for me is a song called Kill You All, a Hip Hop Rage. It's just, and I don't know what he's trying to do. I don't know if he's trying to rap or if he's trying to be fucking sarcastic about rap, but it's just not very good at all. And ultimately what I've come to the conclusion is that I think I'm too old for this sort of music now. I think
Mate, we're all having identity crises here. We're all well, except Dave, who's just that. But I'm still listening to my fucking metal.
Daddy.
I really do. I think that like a lot of the kind of quirky stuff they used to do, I used to think was, you know, that's quite cool and quirky. Now it's just really annoying, and it's not that I hate it. I just think to myself, someone my age probably shouldn't be listening to this music now. I just. It's funny that the band are called Mindless Self-Indulgence, and that's pretty much what the music is. It's them doing what they want to do, and every fucking song has motherfucker in it, or suck my dick, or something like that. And it's all very much... The lyrics aren't exactly, you know, fucking poetry or anything like that. And I was kind of looking for a slight level of maturity because they've been away for 5 years, and I think that's probably my fault. I think the band are sticking to what they've always done. It's just the maturity that I want they're not capable of. So... I've only given it a 2 out of 5, which is a fairly low score from me this year. There's only one album got lower than that from me. If you're a fan of the band, then you're going to love it. If you were like me, kind of on the periphery of the band, you thought some of their stuff was alright, there's maybe about 2 or 3 songs on it which you'll think, that's pretty cool, but the rest is pretty shit. If you never liked this band, then there's nothing on this album which will bring you over to it at all. So, there you go. 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5.
Dave, do you get your wee girl to listen to metal?
Not really. She's quite into Nickelback at the moment.
What?
Yeah, I know.
Mate, you need to rap that shit.
I'm trying to build her up to it, you know what I mean? So we're currently at Nickelback, so the next level will be, I don't know, Pig Destroyer or something like that, and then we'll see how it goes.
So basically when she goes to school and she's in the choir and stuff like that, she can like do Dead Skin Mask and all
that. Yeah.
Cool.
No, fuck no. Fucking no. Slayer.
Oh, what's wrong with Slayer?
I don't like Slayer.
You do like Slayer, you just don't
like Slayer.
You don't like Slayer pre-2001.
What? No, here. Slayer became the best new metal band of all time, right? Diablo in Musica is the best Cold Chamber album ever made.
I agree with you. I do like Diablo in Musica, actually. But I'm not a big fanboy of Slayer at all. I just don't get it. I don't get it at all.
I'm not a pure major fan either, man. But when your daughter's in the school choir, you get her to sing Slayer. That's the done thing.
Oh, right, okay, right.
She has to at least at one point go, "You all die!" A bit of that. So,
pretty much, aye.
Yeah. So, speaking of dying, that's a horrible way to connect this in. Graham's listening to the second album, was listening to the second album by reformed band Alice in Chains. The loose kind of connection being that their vocalist died, and that's why they had to get a new one out.
Oh, Duncan.
So, there you go.
That's fucking brutal, man.
Exactly. That's what it is.
Greeting here, man.
Brutal Dunk strikes again. Right. So Graham was listening to the new album, and he gave it, surprise, a 5.
Surprise.
There you go.
Suck my ass.
Do you want to tell us why you gave it a 5? And if you're not allowed to use the opening sentence because it's awesome.
In under 2 minutes.
Just to fuck with you, Duncan, basically. I actually thought it was shite, but just because you keep making fun of me giving good results, I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to give everything a 5 from now on. I love Alice in Chains. It's, you know, as you guys well know. And this album, I mean, it doesn't sound like their old stuff, but it sounds like their old stuff. Like it's the same sort of vibe. It's heavy as fuck without being, you know, brutal. It's slow. It's, you know, the same way that Alice in Chains always is. It's, you know, you're listening to the lyrics pretty much greeting. You know, like if you want an album to party to, then go listen to Dave's Deathcore Party Band, because this is not going to be the one that you're after. But no, it's stylistically it's very similar to Black Gives Way to Blue, but there's a lot more of the kind of twin vocals as opposed to Cantrell doing some vocals and then Duval doing some vocals. It's much more the two of them kind of sing at the one time, which has its positives and has its negatives. I mean, I like the fact that there was the kind of two distinct vocalists on Black Gives Way to Blue. On this album, it's maybe a bit more like Cantrell's solo stuff, but you know what? It's a minor gripe, but it's excellent. There's not a bad track on it.
Mm. Yeah.
And it's got a fucking dinosaur on the front.
Well, there is that as well. I quite liked it as well, actually. I wasn't like a massive listener of Alice in Chains before. I mean, I liked what was that? Dirt. I quite liked Dirt as an album. But
I quite like Dirt. Fucking hell, Dave.
Well, as someone that doesn't really listen to Alice in Chains, I thought it was all right. I wasn't a big fan of. I wasn't a big fan of that fucking last album, Black Gives Way to Blue, or whatever the fuck it was called. But I do prefer this one.
How does it feel being wrong all the time?
It never really happens, to be honest. So
oh, really?
I don't really know. But I think the big difference on this album was that the fact that Jerry Cantrell does a lot more of the vocals, and I think that's why I like it probably. I love that track that we put on the review. Is it Stone? I think it was called.
Yeah.
Fucking great riff. And also there was a track after it. I think it was it. Voices. Yeah. Very Silverchair.
Fuck right off.
Fuck! Don't you fucking write off with Silverchair, Humphrey. I'll fucking disconnect you for this call right now.
Frog stomp, man. Fucking ass stomp.
Amazing. So you can't fucking knock Silverchair. No danger.
Aye, alright.
Well, anyway, sounded like Silverchair. So you like Silverchair if you like that track.
Aye, alright. Aye, very good. No, I don't like Silverchair. I don't.
Fuck off.
No, you know what? Musically they're alright, but the guy's such a wee fucking whiny, prissy prick that I just can't get my head around him. You know what?
He was
Go
about
away.
12 when he wrote his first album, man.
Aye, so?
What were you doing when you were 12?
Being unable to grow any facial hair.
That's not changed.
Oh,
This is getting personal, guys. This is getting personal.
I've shaved it off, guys. Shaved it off.
Oh, that's a shame.
No, it's not. No,
I told Graham that.
I say shaved it off. I mean, I pulled all three hairs out.
I told Graham that in shaving off his facial hair, it makes him look a whole 30 seconds younger.
Man. Next I'm going to shave my chest, and by shave my chest I mean pull that one hair out.
It's safe to say
as soon
that
as I grow pubes, I'm going to shave my balls.
it's safe to say that Graham will never get a sponsorship from Gillette. I listened to the album and I actually really liked it. I thought it was really cool. There's a lot going on. I'm kind of liking this kind of the kind of new push of kind of old school kind of grunge bands coming back. Soundgarden's album was really good. Alice in Chains album really good, and I think with the kind of music industry going the way it is just now, there is a place for those bands, and I'm glad that they're still writing music. I quite liked the previous album as well. I like
No,
the idea of them. I like the idea of them doing kind of the dual vocal thing, because that to me is more what defined the original sound of Alice in Chains. It's a very distinct sound with the kind of dual vocals that came in on that on the earlier stuff. So I'm quite glad they're doing that. So yeah, I really like it. It's a good album.
Nice. Yes.
And it's got a dinosaur in the front.
And it's got a dinosaur in the front. There you go.
What about movie wise, Mr. McLeish? What have you been up to?
Well, I'm actually gonna give you a really quick rundown of this, because I know we're pushing the hour mark. We're probably going to go over the hour mark.
Yeah.
When it's this entertaining, it can just take as long as it takes, right?
I'm going to do a quick review, and it's not going to be heavy on any sort of spoilers, because it's not officially out yet. So don't ask me how I got a copy of it.
How did you get a copy?
Well,
you're killing my industry, McLeish.
No, I will go and see this in the cinema again, because I think I will, and probably not. But yeah, it's the sequel to last year's surprise success anthology horror film VHS. This one being VHS 2.
Should have called it Betamax.
They should have done something other than VHS. I think it's a redundant sort of fucking system.
Floppy disk.
Yeah, floppy disks. Floppy disk 2. So yeah, it came out this year. I think it officially got its first screening at Sundance in January, which is crazy considering the other film. That was like less than a year since the previous one. And because it was such a success, they rushed it through. Kind of follows exactly the same sort of format as before. The story that links them all in, the wraparound story, is brutally fucking banal. It's just really... It's not even... I know it's there to serve a purpose and all the rest, but you could put a bit of effort in it. I wasn't too keen on it at all. Out of the 4 stories that are shown this time, so they've shortened it a wee bit. Of the 4 films they showed this time, I only really liked 1.5. Well,
Why
sorry.
did you not make it the whole way through?
No, I'll tell you what it was that annoyed me. The first story involves... I really like the way that they incorporate the found footage idea. And, you know, like a lot of found footage films, it's people walking with cameras, walking about the place, and then scary things happen, and you instantly start thinking, why are you still holding the camera? Run. You know what I mean? But they're always holding it. And the case of what they did in the previous one was they gave it the people a reason to have cameras. So whether it was like glasses that had inbuilt recorders in them in the previous film, that sort of idea, they've kind of followed on with that. So you've got kind of creative ways of how they've got it. The first story is a guy that has a prosthetic eye fitted. It's like a robotic eye, but it films.
Like Terminator.
Very much so, like Terminator. And unfortunately, the side effect of this is that it actually picks up dead people. So kind of very similar to The Eye, the Japanese horror film The Eye. It's kind of like that a wee bit. So it was alright. I didn't like the way it ended. I thought the idea was pretty cool, but I thought the ending was a bit lazy. And the second one, which I actually was really starting to enjoy, but a similar reason I didn't like it. This one was a zombie film, and it's a guy on a bike, but this time his camera's in his helmet of the bike, and what happens is he gets bitten by a zombie, and then you're pretty much like a zombie head cam, which I thought was really fucking cool, because you just see this zombie, he's obviously going around munching on people. Without giving a spoiler to the ending of that as well, the ending is fucking dreadful to that. I really hated that. Safe Haven is the third film, and it's fucking amazing. It's like, just give me a whole fucking film of that. It was directed by Gareth Evans, who kind of shot to fame last year with The Raid.
Yeah.
This is set in Indonesia, and it follows a group of people filming a documentary about a cult and their leader. And they get sent, they get access to the cult, and then they find out that the cult isn't all brainwashing and stuff like that. If anything, they're trying to resurrect a kind of demon Antichrist, and it is incredibly bloody and just completely out there. It's just fucking nonsense, but it's so fucking good. I could watch that all day. And the last one...
Come down in London, mate, we'll do it.
I think we should. The last one was called Slumber Party Alien Abduction, and it is pish.
Psychological thriller, aye.
Oh, it's just absolute fucking pish. It's a waste of time, an absolute waste of time. And funnily enough, from reviews I've been reading, a lot of people have been saying it's the one they've enjoyed the most, and I don't know how that's possible. It's just things you've seen before, but done so much, worse. I don't know. I just didn't really like that, and like I say, the wraparound of it wasn't all that great. But overall, I mean, it's short enough. None of the films are longer than 15 minutes. It's an easy watch. There's enough jumps and scares in there. There's enough gore to satisfy things. I would love to see what they do in terms of a third one, because I think that's very likely it'll happen. I'm just hoping that more time spent constructing a decent wraparound story, because I think when you neglect that part of it, it's very, very difficult to give the film any... What sticks with you when you watch a horror film tends to be what happens at the end, and because the wraparounds, the kind of end clip in this one, and it finishes really lazy, you kind of come away from it thinking, oh well, it wasn't all that great. And then you think back over it later on, and then you realise there is good in there. They've not perfected it yet. So hopefully, by the time they get around to VHS 3, or whatever they call it, they will have perfected.
Well, moved up to DVDs.
Yeah, it's up to DVDs. It's definitely worth a watch. If you liked the first one, then you'll like the second one. If you thought the first one was alright, I would still give the second one a shot, because there's at least, for me, there was at least 1.5 stories in there which were really, really well done. 1.5 which were, and half a story which was shit. So I think that adds up to 3.5. So don't ask me where the other half went. But it's worth a watch. I think it's getting a limited release over here in the cinema again, isn't it, Graham?
Yep.
So if it's in your area, if it's in your neck of the woods, go out and check it out. Support fucking horror films. I'll definitely go and see it at the cinema, because it's going to be at the cinema.
Fair enough. I don't actually know anything about like the like making process and everything like that, but for you, when you watch it, does it feel as if it's just movies that they had kind of left over from last time that they put into a new movie? Or
no, because in the case of this one, I mean, one of them's directed by Eduardo Sanchez, who kind of shot to fame with the Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's a bigger name, and I think he only signed on because the first one did as well as it did. Same with that Gareth Evans. He signed on because the first one... I really think it's cool that they give the opportunity to directors who are fans of the genre an opportunity to do found footage films. I think that's a really cool idea, but like I say, they don't give them enough time to really pad out much of a story. So when the start of it needs to be great, the middle needs to be great, and the end needs to be fucking stunning. And if you don't achieve that, then you're kind of left feeling flat. I mean, if you're only going to have four mini films in it, then all 4 of them have to be stellar, I think. Yeah. I mean, the problem with VHS, I thought, was they had too many films. I thought of the 5 films they had, they could have probably taken 2 out, kind of padded out the 3 that were remaining, and you would have had a really good fucking anthology. And this is still a decent anthology. I just feel that they're missing a trick. That if they kind of just tighten it up a bit, they're gonna. I mean, that sort of franchise can get done and done and done until people are no longer interested in film footage. Yeah. So it has longevity. It's just a case of making sure that the films that are attached to it have the same sort of interest. And at the moment, like I say, when they hit it, it's like, as a horror fan, it's like an absolute fucking wonder to see it on the telly. But when they go off piste, I mean, it really does. It's like a fucking car crash. Not very pleasant to look at. So yeah, so that's VHS 2. I've started writing my review. I know I said I'd have it written before. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Because there's
3 out of 5.
3.
The fuck was that?
I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5.
There you go.
There we go. Because there's enough in it to merit a 3. But I'll go into more details and spoilers and stuff with my written review. So there we go.
Nice. Thanks for that.
No problem.
Well, that concludes our selection of reviews for this evening. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, you're most welcome.
So what we got left? What's coming up? What's coming up on the website?
You tell us, Dave. What is coming up on the website?
I will tell you what's coming up, Duncan. Plenty of reviews. That's what's coming up, Duncan.
All right, cool.
Just in case you
Branching
didn't know.
out then,
We've got reviews from, I've just had a load in from Mr. McManus, Mr. Mikey McManus, that is. So I've got some of his going up this week. Some more French metal, surprisingly.
French metal is fucking killing, by the way, man. Like, all of a
it's
sudden, the French have just decided, oh, here, by the way,
fucking
let's
awesome.
do this.
Aye, absolutely. So I got one in from him, a band called Checkmate, kind of progressive metal band from France. And we've also got Dagoba, I think that's how you pronounce it.
Oh,
Another kind of progressive metal band, so we've got that going up as well. We've got...
I thought it was Dagobah.
Is it Dagobah? I'm not entirely sure.
I thought it was relating to Star Wars. I might be wrong.
Oh, see, I wouldn't know. Wouldn't know.
Is it fish?
We've got some kind of indie, kind of rock stuff from a band called The Main. Their new album, Forever Halloween, got a review of that going up this week. We've also got quite an interesting one from Paul, a band called Shining. I think, Duncan, you'll have probably heard of these guys.
Absolutely love Shining. They're fucking brilliant.
Yeah, so we've got their new album. It's called 111. Interestingly titled. They're kind of style-wise just a bit kind of all over the shop, kind of avant-garde, kind of, I think it's black jazz they call themselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty cool. So we've got that going up. We've got the new Amorphous album. Duncan did a wee video review of that. We've got that going up. We've got some thrash metal / speed metal from Aggressor. Baz did a wee review on their latest release. Amongst others, we've got Exhumer going to be going up soon, kind of death metal album from Relapse Records. We've got Motherload, kind of just a kind of alternative kind of rock album that's going up as well. Plenty of stuff going up, plus Palms. We've got Palms going up soon, and obviously your mindless self-indulgence as well. We're going up pretty soon.
I think we might get hate mail for my review, by the way. I'm just giving the fans notice, because their fans tend to be fucking nuts.
Well, it's been a while since we've had any, so bring it on. Fucking bring it.
I should probably write some reviews, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
Did he not mention your name, Graham? No.
No.
I'll get there eventually, right?
Aye.
Is quality more than quantity, Graham? Quality more than quantity.
Exactly. So in my case, you get neither.
Yeah, so I've also I forgot to mention earlier, me and Duncan, we were on Bazzy's Stag Do last weekend.
Weekend? Yes, we were.
Our man Baz getting married in August, so we were on his Stag Do through in Glasgow last weekend, which was just carnage, but it was a good carnage. It was pretty entertaining. But somehow, amongst all the photos and stuff that we posted, there's also a video appeared of Baz absolutely fucking mortal, and he's doing some sort of weird dance in the middle of some pub in Glasgow.
Did you get it?
So I got the video. Yeah, I managed to get the video.
Amazing.
So these podcasts they're going up on the website. We also stick them on YouTube as well. So if you check out the one on YouTube, I'll stick the video in right at the end of the podcast.
Oh, fucking brilliant!
So you got that to look forward to as well.
I can already hear Bazzy's rage from here.
Yeah, I know. He's going to love it.
Oh, he's going to hate you, Dave. He's going to hate you.
I know.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it. Duncan, you wanted to give a little shout out to someone, did you not?
I did indeed. I think I've been talking about these guys to you so much that both of these are card carrying members of the Devour the Podcast fan club.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, Devour the Podcast are an American trio. There's David, Jamie, and Bo. And what they do is they review horror films, and I've been listening to them now for a month and a bit, and they're fucking brilliant. Such an entertaining podcast, really knowledgeable, and they've recently been quite kind to us. So I believe we might have got a mention on their most recent podcast, thanks to Jamie.
They called it shite.
I don't believe that for a second.
Yeah. Duncan, I've not actually heard this show.
Yeah. Well,
I know what they say about it.
There's these cunts that do this fucking rock and roll thing. They think they're all that, but they're all fucking fish.
They just keep adding themselves on our page. Who do they think they are? They're not reviewers. So I've been working through their previous podcast. So what I'd like to do is give a shout out to them. That's Devour the Podcast. You can actually check out all their stuff on iTunes or go directly to their website, which is www.devourthepodcast.com. You can download or listen to all the previous podcasts. I've done 62 so far. And a very, very quick shout out, Jamie D. Jenkins, one of the podcasters, lovely lady that she is, very, very, very nice. She's been very nice to us. Has her own podcast as well. It's like a solo podcast that she's doing at the moment called Liking It. And you can find that on www.horrorphilia.com and just type in Liking It, and it's a werewolf-themed podcast, and it's actually pretty fucking good. If you like werewolves like I do, then you should check it out. So, thanks very much, our American brothers in arms.
Yes,
and
thank you.
we look forward to hearing their podcasts in the future.
Yeah, for sure. That's pretty much it from us, really. I'm absolutely bursting for a piss, so I'm trying to get off this.
Dave, mate, we've not got the video on. Nobody will notice.
Do you not have...
I've been sitting with a finger up my arse the entire time, and nobody's fucking noticed.
Bad idea drinking pints of water before a podcast. Anyway. Thanks once again. Thanks for listening, and thanks for checking out our last podcast, if you did. These podcasts are available on the website. They're available on YouTube, and they're available on iTunes. So get in about it, whatever way you want. It's all there for you. Check it out.
Who's on our next one, Dave?
Oh, our next podcast, our next guest reviewer. Should we give that information out right now, do you think?
I think we should. I think we should generate a bit of buzz here.
All right, let's do it.
Me again.
No.
I won't have written any reviews with it.
I
will, honest.
Well, I think our next podcast is actually going to be the big one. It's going to be the big, not the non-Skype one, the one where we all cram into my living room and do a podcast. So there's likely going to be 4 or 5 years at the next one in a couple of weeks.
We're going to make that, Dave.
So here we go.
We will need... Here, right, fucking hell, right, I live in London. On $6K a year.
I live in fucking Scotland. And
it's expensive, mate. You know, it cost me 60 quid a week, Trav. Anyway,
dude.
Never mind. Right, shut up. So, if it's possible to set up Skype, I will do that one over Skype. If not, then fuck this.
I think it is. I think it is possible. I'm kind of looking into the tech, but I don't know how feasible it is in terms of. I think Dave would actually have to have a headphone socket for each of the individual people in his house, as well as they would all have to have headphones, which might mean some sort of mixing desk, which I don't think you actually have. So I'm going to still look at it though. I'm going to see.
Hell, Dave, you want to just go and get one? Christ, this is your website.
Just fucking drive to Scotland, you lazy cunt.
In my imaginary car. I'll run up. I'm training for this 10K, man. I'll just fucking pin up.
Aye, do that.
Yeah, I'll need to use your shower.
Fuck off, you're not using my shower. So we've got the big one next, and after that we've got another Skype one, and I believe that joining us in that one will be Sarah.
Oh, Sarah, the lovely Sarah, who I only recently added her on Facebook, and I know absolutely nothing about her.
Well,
no different from anyone else you had on Facebook.
Pretty much. My Facebook page is just full of total fucking randoms. But they all seem to like me, so that's okay, I think.
Dave.
Well, they don't say anything bad about me to my face.
Well.
But,
yeah, Sarah will be joining us on the next one. And then we're going to have all the other guys on there as well, getting everyone involved. So everyone that writes reviews will be joining us for a bit of podcast banter. Yeah.
No one's escaping.
No, should be good. So that's pretty much it. Unless there's anything you guys want to add.
No, just thanks very much for listening to the podcast, and remember to go and check out all the reviews on rockandreelreviews.com.
Anything to add? Right, here we go. Right, no, I'm only joking. I do have lots to add, but it'll be above all of you, so don't worry about it. No, I'm only joking. I don't have anything to add. Thanks for letting me rant on about how excellent Alice in Chains are. That's about it, really, aye.
Yeah, nice. Well, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you again soon. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.